So good morning to our online audience and to our in the room audience. A very warm welcome to Senate House at the University of London, and a warm welcome to our online and distance education conference. This is our 18th RIDE conference, so it's wonderful to have you here. And it's very much an international conference, and there are colleagues in the room and online from a very wide range of countries. So my name's Linda Amrane-Cooper, and I'm Director of Academic Practice at the university and also Director of the Centre for Online and Distance Education, CODE. The conference is hosted by CODE, and it brings together delegates and speakers really, as I said, from across the globe and from across the UK. So I hope that people in the room and online will take the opportunity to talk to each other and to make some connections. So in our post-COVID world, if we can call it that, learning and teaching have emphatically shifted online to a degree that would have been hard to imagine before the pandemic. Online meetings, hybrid conferences like this one, webinars, working from home are all part of the new normal. The world's knowledge is increasingly available at the swipe of a finger on a mobile device. But if knowledge is available everywhere, if anything can be accessed and discovered at any time, what does that actually mean for learning? How well do we understand how to put these opportunities to good use? How good are we at coping with such rich and complex choices? And what can be learned from the myriad innovations that are blossoming around us? Therefore, our theme for the 18th RIDE conference is learning anything, everywhere, but how? Over the next 2 days, we will debate, discuss, demonstrate, and engage with the questions of how learning at a distance, online and digitally, can be effectively facilitated. To do this, we bring together a vibrant international community of researchers, practitioners, industry experts, who are leading the way and ensuring that learning anything everywhere is student-centred, successful and engaging. The range of topics we bring to you across our 2 days is impressive. I know I'm involved in it, but still I'm impressed. You can have the options to explore emerging pedagogies, new technologies, assessment, internationalisation, belonging and wellbeing, professional learning and research. Every one of those key to our work. Our sessions are intended to be welcoming to audiences online and in the room, to be collegiate and stimulating. So I'm going to make a plea as I look around the room and not to the online audience, but if you're in the room, switch off your emails and your distractions and join us for the RIDE 2024 conference. A conference of this size takes teamwork. And I would like firstly to thank Jennifer Lamb-Morrison for her support with the organisation of the conference. She's made a fantastic contribution to this. I also extend my thanks to our 3 visiting scholars, and you'll hear more about them later on, but Dil, Anna and Yilu. I would like to congratulate the conference committee led by Professor Stylianos Hatzibaganos and who worked with me and for the work that they have done in reviewing the abstracts. The selections of the presentations, workshops and lightning talks you will enjoy over the next 2 days stems from the conference committee's work. But I must finally focus on the presenters with us across these 2 days and thank them for their contribution to the conference and to our sector. We will hear of innovation from across the UK and from 9 countries, and I can't wait to get started. So let me now start the conference, if I may. Learning anything, everywhere, but how? I'm delighted to introduce the University of London Vice-Chancellor, Professor Wendy Thomson, CBE, who's going to give you the formal welcome today. Thanks, Wendy.
Thanks very much, Linda. And that's what I shall do. I'll welcome you to, as Linda has already really done, to the 18th International Research in Distance Education RIDE. It's a great title. Acronym works well. And for those who are joining us in person, welcome to Senate House. And really, this is the heart of the University of London. We think of it really as the heart of the whole learning and knowledge quarter here in Bloomsbury. There's over 200,000 students studying at the University of London in this vicinity or thereabouts. So it really, is a privileged student destination, and one that we're looking to enhance ourselves through our own, through some of the facilities that we have here. So, and I hope while you're here, you'll maybe take a few moments to explore Senate House. It has a rich history, many stories to be told about it. If you've been here before, you'll have heard some of them probably, but it was originally conceived to be the home of all the universities of London. And if you look upstairs in just outside Chancellor's Hall, you'll see an exhibit from Charles Holden, who was the architect for this building and a number of the other buildings in this area. He also did a lot of the London Tube stations that have a particular kind of 1930s feel to them. So it's quite an iconic structure, one which is listed. So some of these pieces you'll see forever because they're really protected. Anyway, it was originally to be the home for all of London's universities, but as often happens in world events, intervened, and in this case, it was the war. The building was finished in 1937. It was never occupied by the university. It was occupied by the Ministry of Information during World War II, and although I think it claimed to be the ministry sort of to counter misinformation, I think it probably produced some of its own misinformation, if some of the records of it are anything to go by. The other story about it, which I think is maybe somewhat true, is that George Orwell's wife worked here in this building, and therefore the inspiration for 1984 emanated from the work that she was doing here in the building at that time. We have our own room 101, but I think we may have made that one up. But anyway, it makes for good stories. And if while you're here, if you have a chance to have a look around, people are quite proud of the building. And it is a popular location for TV series and blockbusters. It served as Gotham City's police station in The Dark Knight Rises, as the totalitarian government's headquarters in V for Vendetta, and its imposing exterior also featured in the Harry Potter films as the Ministry of Magic. So, it's you're in a building that once you've seen it, you'll start noticing it in all sorts of movies. And a nice little earner for the university as well, which we appreciate. So more to the matter at hand, it's my great pleasure, as I say, to welcome you to this 2024 International Research in Distance Education and E-Learning RIDE conference. Since 2006, RIDE has been a much anticipated feature in the University of London's events calendar and organized by the Centre for Online and Distance Education. The University of London, is a very suitable host really for this conference and for the Code Centre, because, really, although we are a federation of 17 world-class universities in this vicinity and further afield, our main student population that we are directly responsible for are studying around the world online or in teaching centres. We have over 40,000 students in 190 countries studying. So for us, these things that you're going to be discussing at this conference are absolutely core. It's not something we do to the side of the desk or, on top of when we get a chance to do something after we've got the campus program sorted. This is core business for us, and really important that we share knowledge from our own practice and from yours to get really state-of-the-art learning, as so many things are changing in the world. So this year's theme, learning anything, everywhere, but how, absolutely, as I say, core to the things we care about. And we expect that learning can take place everywhere, and that we can learn anything. But faced with so many possibilities, what have we learned in recent years about effective ways to engage learners in successful learning in these different modes of education? I was saying to a colleague at the front, Rita, I think we still have a lot to learn about how people learn, full stop, really. I always have this debate with people about whether it can be done mandatorily, and I don't, I think it's a voluntary activity, isn't it? So that in itself makes it quite an interesting set of motivational constructs to work our way through. So online, blended and digital education are firmly established in mainstream practice in higher education. And during the next 2 days, we invite you to engage with the how of successful learning. And we're delighted to welcome colleagues from across the globe to our conference, either online or in the room with us. We particularly welcome our colleagues from the higher education sector across the UK and those from the University of London, our Federation members. I'm also pleased, as Linda mentioned, we have 3 visiting scholars that are joining us today, which we're delighted to have. Professor Vostru from Pontificia Universidad Católica de Paraná, massacring the language, I'm sure, from Brazil, Drs. Anna Niu and Yuli Yang from Open University China. So welcome to our visiting scholars from those neighboring, interested organizations that are joining us here and as fellows longer term. So through the next 2 days, you'll be involved in discussion and debate, certainly underscore Linda's invitation to try and get offline and be in the room. It's a challenge I think I find with students sometimes. So we know it's something we should try for ourselves to achieve. So our intention is to provide a friendly, engaged and stretching environment to support growth within our practice and research communities. The conference committee, we're delighted to receive a very strong field of abstracts from over 15 countries. And my thanks, I'm sure, added to Linda's, to all those who submitted abstracts and who will present and run workshops here with us in the next day or two. And lastly, my deep thanks to Linda Amrane-Cooper, the Code Conference Committee, and all those at Code for making this excellent event a reality once again. It really is, as I say, a really important fixture in the events calendar of the university. And I hope you have a great couple of days. Thank you.